What's up, VC? Stavros, back from the den. It has been a very long time. Hope everyone had a good holiday season. I think everyone has said that already like 8 times because you guys are prolific. People are putting up like 3 videos a week. I can't keep up. And here I am doing my first one in a month, but it happens. Happy New Year. I don't do New Year's resolutions because I just think it's stuff that we do that we are inevitably going to fail at. Because we're human and we're weak. And we love vinyl. So anything that has to do with vinyl New Year's resolutions. If you do it, good for you. That's awesome. I've never been able to do it. Now, if I did a New Year's resolution that said something to the effect of, you're going to buy whatever you come across with no compunction and no care in the world about space or time or money, I would probably do that one. So, nevertheless. All right. So, what I got here is right before I stopped doing videos for the holidays or for whatever reason. There's a lot of talk, primarily, Chris from Dixieland Farms did a video about collecting on the cheap. A lot of people weighed in. I love the video. He and I collect vastly different ways. I tend to spend a lot more money on records than he does on one record, I would say, but I don't know. It is what it is. Everyone knows their wallet and their financial situation and their wants and their needs, and far be it from me to say one way is better than the other. I think Chris is having a great time collecting his way. I'm having a great time collecting my way, and I think he's a righteous dude. I did go to a store and decided that when I go, I'm only going to get records that are $10 or less, just to see what happens, and it turned out pretty good. But there's some other stuff in here I want to show too. So let's start with, I got the new Third Man Records Vault release. I believe this was number 30. It came in another huge lenticular box that takes up so much room. But luckily what they've been doing is they've been including album covers in the boxes, so I just keep the boxes somewhere else and then put the records on the shelves. So lenticular cover comes with this Jack White 7-inch from a couple of songs from the acoustic recordings. Love is the Truth acoustic mix and City Lights on some kind of vinyl. Baby blue see-through, which you can barely see, but it is blue transparent. Whee! Blue vinyl. It comes with this card that they include, which I think is really nice on the vault, telling you what it is. Playbill from the Raconteurs first show. Who's that? Teddy Roosevelt? With vampire teeth. And the albums are the Raconteurs complete first show ever. I don't know what that is. I believe from New York, right? Yeah. Live at Irving Plaza in New York City. This was the Raconteurs' first live show. Listen to this, and it is really good. I'm not a huge Raconteurs fan, but they did great with this one. And it comes on this weird, wispy, can you see it? Can you see it? Wispy, transparent, gold, something or other. And then the second record in there, they had 2 this time, was this Disgraceland. So this features the Kills, the Dead Weather, and William Tyler. So Anthony Bourdain did his show Parts Unknown on CNN. He went to Nashville, visited Jack at Third Man Records, and they had some sort of party where people were getting tattooed and getting good food, and these 3 bands played. So transparent with blue wisp. I have not listened to this yet. People say it's really good, but we'll find out. And then it also came with this Third Man Records European style pennant, I guess you would call it. All these vaults come with some cool stuff, but unless it fits in the box, like I don't know where the fuck to put it. Sorry. So yeah, so I think the records will go in the sleeves will go in outer sleeves, they'll go on the shelves, the box will be put away with the juicy extras, and we'll go from there. I keep saying I'm going to unsub from the vault, and then I get the FOMs. If you don't know what the FOMs are fear of missing something. I suffer from it from an early age. So I can't quit the vault, and I've got all of them now, and it's a shit ton of White Stripes Live, and I'll probably do a video at some point showing them because I need to slow down on purchasing. Alright, birthday's coming up soon. My family was in town from Greece for the holidays because my daughter was born on Christmas Day. And no one got me any records for Christmas. I think my wife pretty much told everybody we don't have the space. Don't get them records. And they didn't. But they asked me what I wanted for my birthday, and I said records. So they ended up getting me records that I would not buy myself, because even for me, where I pay more than cheap records, these are too expensive. But they hooked me up big time. Horace Silver, songs from my... Wait, this wasn't a birthday present. No, this was Helmut Diggy told me that Red Scroll had a bunch of new stuff up, and I coincidentally seen on Discogs that they got a bunch of Music Matters in, and this was one of them. So I went to my local store, traded in a bunch of records, got $60 worth of cash, got it, and then immediately ordered this from Red Scroll because I'm an idiot and I spent $60 on a record. But hey, it's a trade, so it's free. I've been looking for this for a long time. And I love Horace Silver. Songs from My Father. This was 2010 reissue on Music Matters. I believe it was released in 1964. I love Horace Silver's piano playing. And on this, he's got Horace Silver Quintet, Carmel Jones on trumpet, Joe Henderson on tenor sax, Teddy Smith on bass, Roger Humphreys on drums. Really great. I'm not going to open it. It's a pain in the balls. I mean, it's not, but you don't need to see inside, do you? No, you don't. Everyone knows Horace Silver. This sounds amazing. Music Matters really, really, really hooked it up. This was a birthday present. Music Matters again, Herbie Hancock, Imperial Isles. I've got a really beat up copy of this. But really wanted this Music Matters. Hancock, Freddie Hubbard, Ron Carter, Anthony Williams. How can you go wrong? Obviously have not opened or spun this yet. A buddy of mine called me and said that he found a bunch of records in the basement from his dad's collection, and did I want them? And my immediate reaction was, yeah, absolutely, I want them. And then I slowed down. I said, well, yeah, give me an idea of what's in there. And, you know, Beatles and some Stones and some, you know, your run-of-the-mill stuff. And I said, all right, I'll come take a look. And it was all stuff I already had, or stuff that was beat up, or whatever. And then in the middle of it, I only got one record from it. And in the middle of it somehow, who is this? This is a 1976 Japanese reissue of the Beatles' Abbey Road in perfect condition with the Obi. Everything else was beat to shit. This was in awesome condition. I mean, the Obi was still there. There's no nothing. There's no, it's minty, minty, minty. So, I gave him $10, and he was like, take it. So, there you go. This is a big score for me. First one in a long time. And it sounds fantastic. And I've got the Beatles mono box, which I don't need any other Beatles albums after that, because it's awesome. And I don't do duplicates because I don't have the room. But this isn't in the mono box. So, got this. And now the only other one that's not in the mono box is... I can't remember. My mind is going blank. You know which one it is. It's the other one that was done in stereo. Jesus Christ. I'll find it. Why is this in the stack? Oh, I was looking through my collection to do the trade, and I'm like, what the hell is this? This was still sealed. I hadn't looked at this in 2 years, I guess. I bought it. It was sealed. Never opened it. This is Buckethead's most recent release, Population Override. Yes, Population Override. Yes, Buckethead's Population Override 2014. Buckethead. I mean, on Discogs, he's got hundreds and hundreds of releases because he's playing on so many bands. He wears a bucket on his head. I've never seen his face. I don't know if you have, but, you know, this is post-rock. Space rock. All instrumental. Good guitar work. The drumming on this is phenomenal. And, yeah, I hadn't listened to it. I bought it 2 years ago. I never listened to it, and I did, and I'm glad I got it. And it was not being traded, it was kept. So Buckethead 2014 on Ion Records. Alright, so I think the rest, yep. So the rest, I was having a shitty day at work, it was dreary out, and I was like, you know what? I've heard good things about the record stores out by Lancaster in Amish country. So looked it up, it was about an hour drive. Drives make me feel better, music makes me feel better, record stores make me feel better, so I went to Record Connection in Ephrata, PA, a little north of Lancaster. Amish country, got out there, you know, lots of billboards about Jesus and repenting, etc. And I went to this record store thinking it's a record store and it's not going to be a big deal. And then I saw this. How crazy is that? I spent 3 hours in there, 2 hours in there. I spent a long time in there. But I told you I had a rule, $10 or less. And all of these were $10 or less except for one, which I couldn't pass up. So let's start off with Ohio Players Greatest Hits. Ohio Players Funk and Soul. This is on Westworld Records, and this has, in my opinion, I'm sure most of you know it, but if you don't know it, this has one of the greatest covers of all time. That's awesome. That is phenomenal. I don't know who had this idea, but beautiful bald black woman. She's looking so calm and serene, and she's digging the funk and the soul. No, she's not. Love the cover. Ohio Players, Funk, Soul. This was released in 74, I believe. On Westbound Records, maybe 72. 74. It's got, unfortunately, that top loader, inside loader, whatever loader that I hate. But for $3, in great condition. Jumped all over it. Next up, this was $7. I have no idea what it was, but I recognized the cover from someone on the VC. It was their avatar for a while. Blodwyn Pig. A head rings out. I was like, whoa, someone's avatar. It's on Chrysalis. And then I started reading the back, and it says, to start these cover notes, let me say that if the album sleeve does not appeal to your taste, take a pair of scissors and cut it in a straight line down the centerfold, open record, insert Foley, and there you have 2 gay party hats. After you've had your party, place record on player, take a large hammer, and in a fit of frenzied anger, destroy the record. This task completed, go straight to your record dealer and buy another, which ensures one more sale and probably relieves a lot of tension on your part. I read that, I'm like, I don't care what kind of music this is, I'm getting it. And that's what we're listening to in the background, actually. And I texted Helmut Diggy, and I said, I just got this as a blind buy. This cooks. This is awesome. And he goes, oh yeah, that's the guy from Jethro Tull. What's his name? Mick Abrahams. Yeah, he's from Jethro Tull. Have that record. It's awesome. I'm like, well, I feel like an idiot. But now I know. And no, I'm not a huge Tull fan, so maybe that's why I didn't know. But this is great. A lot of blues, some jazz influences, a pig smoking a joint. Phenomenal. Next up, Grateful Dead. 2-disc set for the faithful. I believe this is a 1984 reissue. Now, you guys, Dead fans will recognize this. This is the cover from Reckoning, which came out in 1981, I believe 1981, which was a 2-disc live acoustic set. And this is a reissue. I don't know why they changed the cover. I don't know. I think Arista licensed it to Pear Records. And they did this release. There's the label for you, Pear. I've always said I really love live Dead. You don't really get the feel for the Grateful Dead with their studio albums. You really don't. And it's the live stuff that gets me. And this acoustic set's phenomenal. First of all, it starts off with a killer dire wolf. And it sounds really good. Betty Cantor Jackson produced it. She did a lot of the live recordings for the Dead. 16 minutes. Holy shit. I'm going to have to cut this into 2 parts. And, yeah. Sounds really good. And it's got Monkey and the Engineer, which is a phenomenal, phenomenal song. Grateful Dead, Pear Records, 1981. Next up, ZZ Top, The Whale. From before ZZ Top became a band that I didn't really like. This thing cooks. This is an OG pressing, but they're cheap. Really nice condition. Original inner picture sleeve. Vinyl Richie. Vinyl Richie showed this on the same day that I had gone to my local record store. And one of the guys there was talking about an album. It was like, this is a effing great album. He was using all kinds of profanity to talk about it. I almost picked it up and I'm like, man, I'm not in the mood for a blind buy, especially for $15, $17, whatever it was. And when I went to Record Connection, I found it. This is Pretty Things, SF Sorrow. This is a reissue on Madfish Records. Richie, thank you so much for showing this, because it is awesome. I've been spinning this nonstop. Some amazing psych. I love it. Phil May, Wally Allen, Dick Taylor, John Povey, and Twink on drums and vocals. That's unfortunate to have that name, but Pretty Things, SF Sorrow, phenomenal, phenomenal psych. Originally 1968. This was a 2016 reissue on Madfish. What else did I get? Less than $10. Real quick. Dwayne Allman and Anthology. This was $2 primarily because there's water damage all over the cover, but the records were in awesome condition. And he's got a ton of guests on this. Delaney and Bonnie show up on this. I believe Boz Scaggs. Phenomenal. And if you're an Allman fan, Dwayne's the man. This was Capricorn Records. I don't remember what year, 1974. I paid $4 for this, and this is another VC thing. I have no idea who Ryuichi Sakamoto was, but I heard Derek Vaughn talk about it, and I saw this, and it was in perfect condition. I'm a sucker for Japanese obi strips. This is, I don't read Japanese. I don't even know what this is called. But it is Ryuichi Sakamoto. And it was released in 1986. Now, he's an experimental synth guy, and a lot of his stuff is out there, and I love it. When I spun this the first time, the first side is almost like bubblegum, or just 80s cheesiness. But the B-side gets out there a little bit with some nice noises and shit. And this is on MIDI Records. MIDI. I found this for $9, which on Discogs, I think goes for 40 or something. Maybe I got the wrong pressing, but this is Tortoise on Thrill Jockey. Millions Now Living Will Never Die. This is Space 1992 maybe, like post-rock, all instrumental. Pretty juicy. If you're going to check this out, I would highly recommend you check out the second song, Glass Museum, or the third song, The Taut and the Tame. Tortoise, post-rock. $9, really enjoyed it. And then this one was $9. I've shown a lot of Steve Gunn over the past few months, and I knew he did this Cold Wax MN, Minnesota. Mike? Is his name Mike? I think his name is Mike. He told me about this after we exchanged a couple of comments on Steve Gunn and how he played with Kurt Vile and the Violators. So this is live from Pickathon in Oregon in 2016. Recorded 2014. So Steve Gunn on one side, Angel Olsen on the other. Both sides are good. Unfortunately, maybe it was $9 or $8.99 because it was slightly warped. Doesn't affect playback. And then lastly, 21 minutes. I love Albert King. This is a Sunday's release. This was only $9. I don't know why. It was sealed. It was new. Originally issued on King Records in 1962. This was released by Sundays in 2012. Maybe that's why it was $9, because they've had it for 5 years and nobody bought it. I love Albert King. This was sourced from the original, not cut, sourced from the original analog tapes. But it sounds really good. So yeah. So there's that. It's been a long time. Glad to be back. Been watching a lot of your videos. I've been commenting on as many as possible. Hope everyone's doing well. Peace from the den. I got to figure out what I'm going to do video-wise, because I'm going to try not to buy as many records. But I'm sure I will fail at doing that. Be good, everybody. Peace from the den.